Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm back and I'm mad!
Galaxy, you want to survive out here, you gotta know where your towel is.
A towel. Keep this and guard it with your life.
Huh?
All the little angels rise up, rise up. All the little angels rise up high. How do they rise up, rise up, rise up? How do they rise up high? They rise heads up, heads up, heads up. They rise heads up, heads up high. They rise heads up, heads up, heads up. They rise heads up high. All the little angels rise up, rise up. All the little angels rise up high. How do they rise up, rise up, rise up? How do they rise up high? They rise arms up, arms up, arms up. They rise arms up high. They rise arms up, arms up, arms up. They rise arms up high. All the little angels rise up, rise up. All the little angels rise up high. How do they rise up, rise up, rise up? How do they rise up high? They rise knees up, knees up, knees up. They rise knees up, knees up high. They rise knees up, knees up, knees up. They rise knees up high. All the little angels rise up, rise up. All the little angels rise up high. How do they rise up, rise up, rise up? How do they rise up high? They rise awesome, awesome, awesome. They rise awesome, awesome. How they rise awesome, awesome, awesome. They rise awesome, awesome high. All the little angels rise up, rise up. All the little angels rise up high. How do they rise up, rise up, rise up? How do they rise up high?
Good evening. Do you know where your towel is? Hello, Jerry. How are you, my man?
I'm full of the joys of spring. I see your towel. I raise you some lilac.
I bow my head to your superiority. Let's get this show on the road. Everyone in the chat who doesn't know, this was in honor of A, Terry Pratchett, and B, what's his face? Blame me. Douglas Adams. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Hitchhiker's Guide. Yep.
Yes, today are those very important days. Also, somebody mentioned Star Wars aired some years ago now for the first time.
Yeah, the first showing of Star Wars. It's an auspicious day, the 25th of May.
Maybe there is some weird thing for this day.
Yeah. That's like 30 people in a class. 2 of them will share a birthday. There's only a finite amount of days in the world, so I imagine quite a lot of stuff has probably happened on the 25th.
That is very much possible. So today we're going to go through, the way we always do, a short 30-minute ride through the project system that is on tabletop.
Oh, all geeks were gay.
Oh.
I don't know how that works.
Who says what?
Hansen Crypt says it's Gay Geek Day.
Oh, yeah. Well, basically we all cunts, so technically we should be gay, I guess. How does this work? I don't know. Yes, tightly scripted Demon Cell. Let's go then. Oh, no, that's not the first one. The first one is on Richmond, Washington. Select your favorite option. By Bob Cocaine. So, this is small.
Yeah, but if I go to the BBC, then that's really like I'm implicitly giving my tacit acceptance to the Tory government and their totalitarian state that they're building. I just can't do that anymore. Fuck a BBC. Fuck them and their stupid assholes.
Yes, Lena, that does mean you're a D and we are all Cs. Whatever your meaning.
We're not a million miles away from a whole chunk of the Team America script right now.
We're not?
We're just a couple of lines of text away from Dicks fuck assholes.
Yeah, so maybe we should then start with Bob's project.
Yes.
So what did he do? This is clearly not 28mm, is it?
No, they're strips of mil. So they say 15. Pedantic people go. What was I heard? 12.5, 13.5. Let me just get my fucking sprue and I'll measure it and I'll tell you what the twats are pedant about. Um, 13.5 if you're a tosspot, or 15mm if you're not. But yeah, he's been getting to work on American Civil War, or as they call it, the ACW. Not to be confused with the CW, which is a TV station in America that shows Bruce Lee Superman.
And judging by his table, he doesn't have much space for anything bigger than 15mm currently.
Space is overrated. Yeah, there might be plenty of space. That might just be his area where he takes his photographs.
Oh, that's very possible. Unlikely, but possible.
You say that. I say you're not the boss of me, right, Josh? There.
Oh,
However,
he embraced the contrast colors.
like I say, for tiny, tiny men, contrast is the way to go. One and done. Do it neatly. Walk away. You don't have to be clever in any way, shape, or form.
Or have a steady hand, does that matter?
Well, steady hand helps, because otherwise you've got to go back and touch up. And if you start touching up miniature, small-scale miniatures, then you're going to end up spending just as much time as if you'd actually painted them properly. So
the classical method.
So you are better off just, trying to be neat.
Oh, these are pictures that would delight Lloyd, I guess. They are very large.
Some of them are from behind as well, which is, what he looks for in life.
We hadn't had those in a long time.
Lloyd shots.
Yes.
Or massive pictures. Oh, there's always Lloyd shots.
But somehow it defeats the purpose of having a small army doing such a close-up, doesn't it?
No, because people do close-ups of everything. You see 28mm, that the size of your head in the photographs, and you can see every brushstroke. Whereas I honestly think people should take pictures of them so they look about the right size. You don't need them to be fucking massive, unless you're planning on entering a competition and winning something. That's a prime example there. Those pictures show you exactly what the fuck's going on. They don't need to be so big that you can see right up the nostrils of each miniature.
Unless you want to show off your nostril hair painting skills.
Nostril hair. What I will say is there's a shocking amount of greybeards in the Confederacy there. I don't know if Bob's planning on going back and making any of those gentlemen younger, but I think all the Union have to do is retreat at a brisk pace, and the walk after them will kill half of the Confederates. Just saying.
Maybe,
very, very old.
Maybe it's these regiments are from the late war and they're all worn out.
Oh, that's it, after 5 years of fighting. But yeah, it's an interesting little project. I imagine there's going to be more to come. I'll be interested to see if he decides to mix in any of the Callisto 15s with it. For variety.
I'd like to see a better report on his modular terrain, especially these hex field doohickeys.
Oh, well, the hex are... Well, weirdly, the hexes are from Callisto, actually. That's just his gaming boards, because they're just really, really fucking nice gaming boards. Wish I had the room for them. But yeah, Battle Report would be great. I imagine we'll get one eventually. But first, he needs to get a couple of armies together, so...
Well, yeah. He has got 2, doesn't that usually suffice?
Well, he's got 2 sets from the starter set, plus presumably a sprue from the copy of Wargames Illustrated that everybody has. So whether that's enough to actually play anything meaningful with, you know how you often get starter sets and then when you've got them, it's about enough for 15 minutes of actual gameplay because there's so little in there. You know, GW starter sets, you know, they contain 12 of the finest miniatures worth, you know, 130 points of anybody's money. You know, well, how much more do you need? Well, a typical game's 2,000 points, so dig deep. Yeah, your starter set will get you fuck all.
Yeah, that's.
But I've not looked at the ACW rules for black powder, so I don't know if it changes things from sort of battalions or brigades or corps or what way it runs. Because in standard black powder, you would have maybe 4 to 6 bases of infantry forming a single unit. Mm-hmm. So each of those would be like a company within it. So potentially that's only 2 units that you're looking at there.
Which doesn't sound like much.
Yeah. Oh, it's fuck all. But if they've changed, because I mean they do have, they have other books like the ACW. I've got a couple for Hail Caesar, and they modify slightly what things do and how you play with them. But I don't think it's going to be modified so much that you're playing with those as individual full-on brigades rather than just companies. Anyway. So,
yeah, but they look nice, and yes, you're right, they all look a bit pale.
It's not that they're pale, they're all grey. if you just go in there with, there's like one called Sigor Brown, is it maybe? It's like a really vibrant fucking chestnut. Just go in and just hammer a few of their lower lips with that, and away you go.
Yeah, that's a very nice one. Looking forward on more of this.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, I imagine we'll see more. Bob is not a man to leave a project half finished. Let's put it like that. So,
he's a painting machine, you say?
Yeah, when he gets his teeth into something, he goes balls deep.
That can be very deep, depending on the man who's doing it. Next, then. Oh, what's this?
What's this? There's something in the air. Brain matter beige.
Black tree design, a bag of stuff.
That is a bag of stuff. In particular, these are Zoid Pinhead's Sassanids. So, Persians for his Persians.
Yeah, I'd been here way back when.
Back in the mist of time.
Yeah, when he first launched it, and then it seemed to be dormant for a year.
Yeah, I believe he says something like, last year I was going to do this for the Spring Clean Challenge and then never went anywhere. So this year I've decided to do even more. So it is finally digging out chunks of miniatures that have been sitting forever and a day. Especially now that Wargames Atlantic and Victrix are also doing Persians. So you can really lean into that massed battlefield.
He decapitated nearly everybody.
You know, fuck them. It's the only way they'll learn. Got to be cruel to be kind. I do like the extravagant amount of Osprey books from when time began.
The enormous use pile in the first entry.
Yeah, well, I've got some of those. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Oh, lovely
However-
war elephants.
Yep. Well, there's a lovely war elephant, and then there's also an elephant from Gripping Beast. But the Aventine one is gorgeous. I'll give you that.
At some point, I'm sure we will be able to look at it.
Oh yeah, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. But it's nice because, as Lloyd refers to my Saracens as dolly mixtures, they're not a patch on the Persian Empire and what mad dog shit they went for. However, he did say, I'm not doing patterns because I'll go fucking blind. So he's decided instead to go for bright colours and leave the patterning to somebody else, bar the occasional elephant curtain, which comes courtesy of Little Big Man Studios transfers, which I think makes sense.
Yeah, at that size, definitely.
Yeah, that's why I said Vitrix.
It does look interesting.
Which one?
The one on the right, with the very colourful...
Because it's great. It's amazing.
For a second I thought the banner would carry a squirrel, but I don't think it's a squirrel.
I would be doubtful. Maybe if it was an Indian elephant, it would have a squirrel on it. I think it's much more likely to be, yeah, I'm trying to remember the names of them. There's a specific name for that big bastard beast that appears on everything. And it's not a Naki. Anyway, it'll come back to me. Probably in 4 or 5 things time. But yeah, it's interesting breakdown of where he's going with his list and also the painting as well. Because I mean, if you don't look at the bottom of that, I'm gonna go out and let him say Dumbo. If you don't look at Dumbo, if you just look at the howdah on top and the guys in it, that all looks terrific. What a shame about the elephant on the underneath. I'm not calling it Dumbo because of its ears. I'm calling it Dumbo because it looks like it was dropped on its head as a child.
Maybe he's just tired.
Could be tired. Cataphract, because everybody loves Cataphract cavalry.
Never heard of them before, but then again, I'm not into my historics.
Heard of who?
Cataphracts.
Cataphracts? Really?
Yeah, it's a term that's not common for me.
Okay. Think of them as knights. They were the heavily armoured knights before knights were a thing in the Middle Ages. Armour everything. Armour your camels.
That's an interesting...
Cataphract camels are great.
That's an interesting colour scheme to have on your
Oh,
warriors.
fuck yeah. Oh, it'd be amazing. You can see why he's not doing it.
It doesn't come from a pot. He would have to do it by himself.
Yep, spang the rule. That's every duckling's dream.
This is even more colourful than Games Workshop's illustrious Harlequin Space Elves.
I think actually, well, depending, the modern ones certainly, the original ones that used every colour.
Yeah, those I'm
probably less so because they were headache inducing and nausea bringing. That was the whole thing about them. Just a riot of colours. And the Persian satraps had this whole thing where every bastard had to bring stuff
the amount...
to them, and then they brought it to the actual emperor, and that's how their armies were formed. And you didn't want to go there with just a bunch of dungers in white robes firing bows. You'd look like some sort of terrible poor. Therefore, everybody dressed up all of the people that they had to kill in the most outrageous things. Going, look how extravagant I am, because essentially your army was a gift to the emperor. Here I am, here are my men, look how awesome we look. Shit at fighting, oh, we're both falling over dead now, but we looked spectacular. There's also an interesting thing in here, which obviously doesn't apply to anybody in the UK or Europe, because it never really became a thing here. But he does talk about testers and how testers' dull coat, which was like the mainstay for years in America, was discontinued, and he's found Mr. Hobby, the Japanese
top coat
model
Mr. Hobby
crowd. Apparently they're Mr. Hobby, Mr. Matt, or whatever the fuck it's called. is meant to be almost as good / indistinguishable from the original testers. So if you happen to be in the States or Japan and that's something you're after, then that spray has it. He has the opposite problem from me. He doesn't like using an airbrush because he has to clean the airbrush. I don't like using sprays because sprays always fuck my models. Just when you think it's not going to fuck your model, it'll fuck your model.
That's the moment when you're being taken hard and rough by the rear end. But
So you have to start with Harlequins and level up. Yeah, that's one way of doing it.
3 times the same entry. That's cheating.
It's not cheating. It's, he's being frugal. You get plenty of votes out of that one entry.
Yeah, of course.
That's how it goes. That is how it goes. But yeah, that should be a beautiful looking force.
Once he makes a army shot.
Yeah. I'm curious as to whether or not he's planning on doing any competing armies, or I know he says this is being made up to play to the strongest at the club, so presumably he only has to worry about his own force and he's not painting both sides of a battle, so he can spend a bit more time and effort delving into the Sassanids.
The books he shows in his first attempt,
Books?
I guess those are partially older than some of the audience. Potentially.
No, not really. I don't think any kids tune into this.
Okay.
They'll get very annoyed that we're not talking about 40k and the latest Space Marine thing.
Space Marines.
Space Marines.
But I've got orcs.
There you go, see? Halfway there. I mean, some of them, the Blue Banded Osprey book is one of the new ones, but to its immediate right, Attila and the Nomads is one of the sort of classically older ones before they changed. But even those aren't that old. I mean, I think that must be the 80, because I've got a series of them.
The two on the lower left, the armies and enemies, ... those look ancient.
Well, they're not Osprey, but they are. I mean, Phil Barker and Ian Heath have been doing books like that for various presses for years, so they're probably comparable to the Elite series and stuff like that. What year was that published? First published 89. Yeah, so 80s. Probably about the same neck of the woods for those. Which means, you can find them relatively cheaply.
Oh, Crazy Red Guard just outed himself at being 30 years young. Oh god, I feel old. I feel terribly old.
Very old.
Yeah.
I thought you knew that.
Yeah, I do, but you don't have to shove it in my face now, do you?
Yeah. It's like the other day I found my first grey pube. It didn't help that it was in a burger at the time.
Luckily, my grey beard is all that's grey currently, apart from a few chest hairs turning white.
There you go.
Speaking of white bearded man,
yes.
You know marshmallow fluff, the stuff you put on your bread, this white creamy.
I'm aware of fluff. Yes.
Yes. Turns out when your beard is getting white, you miss spots when you've got some of that stuff sticking in your beard.
Good.
And at any seconds when you give your daughter or your wife a smoochie, you start sticking to them.
It's when wasps and bees and ants are coming to harvest it. That's when you know you've got something there.
Yeah, that's... or when you go through it and it's suddenly very crispy feeling. Well, venturing on into the depths of death and hell, Josh Togo did Infinity.
Josh Togo. I had to bring this one up because I always like seeing them. It's a toss-up as to who gets in. I just have to separate Josh and Soap Dodger these days.
Do they get into a fight if you?
It's just so much infinity in one place. Not many people can cope with that.
Maybe they should meet on a boot camp for Infinity.
Super Dodger was on Infinity Boot Camp.
Yeah, but
Fairly certain.
both at once, so that we can have an on-screen live rumble.
That'll be good.
I know this is only the third
Why not?
project
What boot camp were you at? So,
but God, your fucks
What
are
we
way
did?
too talented.
bold action. All right. I get my spotlight that I go to too many fucking boot camps. More than anything else.
Is there too many boot camps?
Well, not these days, no. It's likely not. However, anyway.
Also, nowadays you can just tell you're working, so you're not technically going to boot camps, you're working.
It doesn't matter. Even the last boot camp I went to as a pleb, I ended up being fucking handed the mic. I spent most of the time not doing anything hobby related.
Which hobby boot camp was that?
That was Flames of War. Actually, the bolt action Western Desert before I started working for the guys. I got handed the microphone by Sam on many occasions and told to go and interview people like Andy Zek. Because I don't even fucking work for you. Why am I doing this?
Because Sam looked from below up to you with his big cat-like eyes and going, "Cling, cling, cling, cling." Please,
Just
mister.
dumped the thing and ran is mostly what happened. The Megalodon's quite nice. That's from Defiance. I assume that we're going to see other big things that size because they've announced that huge giant things are coming for Infinity for their Tag Wars. And if they're coming for that Tag War game, then there's no point in not having them in standard Infinity as well.
Oh, I think Crispin just volunteered to make a boot camp for the greatest movie ever made.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I'm pretty sure there's enough miniatures from 7TV or the likes to use in any given scenario.
7TV is probably a good shout for what to use as well to run it.
A second coming, well, at least
That would be.
at least he's writing comic and not the other one.
That looks like my Oren blah blah blah. The super fantastic great Yu Ching tag. Dead in the far bed.
Something dead. Yep. Tag Yujing. And the
Megala would be great. Play just no
Megalodon.
wooden box. No wooden blocks with just facings on them. That'd be sweet.
Oh, luckily the last battle report we already have seen, so I don't need to
Yes. No, I
strain
don't need
my
to go any
eyes
further.
anymore with
You just have to
well-painted miniatures.
Just bask in them. They allow you. It does look like that dead tag has got a couple of those 2x1 grey Lego bricks stuck into his thighs. Is that what killed it?
He stepped on Lego.
Stepped on Lego. But you see what I mean there, don't
Yeah,
you?
I see what you mean.
It is literally those Lego parts.
The
Poor
first,
bastard never stood a chance.
the first thing that came to my mind when I saw them first, I thought, why does he have some Nintendo controller slapped to his legs?
We'll never know. Can't ask the pilot. They're dead now.
But
Bye.
stepped on Lego, that sounds like something you need in any post-apocalyptic zombie game for if you fail to sneak around, the game master goes, yeah, you step on a Lego and you're barefooted. Scream no if you want.
Beats thistles. That's how you know people are coming.
I think the
Tags versus
hamsters...
bot wars. Speaking to Anthony day before yesterday, and he's sending 4 starter sets across for bot wars so we can do some let's plays and stuff. So,
A potential giveaway?
no,
Oh.
no giveaway here. Fucker. You want them, you have to buy them.
Oh.
Or go fuck yourself. Actually, depending what he sends over, might be able to squirrel a giveaway out of them because we have the 2-player starter set. If I can prize Lloyd's Cold Dead Hand, so if he doubles up on things in there, then you know.
Yeah, that's a game. It's really a shame that there's no genuine distributor in Europe?
There are two. There's one in England, which I know technically is no longer part of Europe, and there's one in Sweden, which is.
Yeah, but
they've just had a big restock in.
Well, then I need to find out what they are charging, because buying directly from the guys is a wee bit expensive.
Yeah. Only because they have to ship it by the medium of Carrier Wallaby, I think it is.
I thought they would send out some rowboats. So for some reason the hamsters at OTT are dying of starvation again, and they won't let me watch these great
again
big.
Not for me. They're opening like that for me, boy. So not sure what it is. I think it's because you're trying to like record an OBS stream and shit like that. Just fucking with it.
Yeah, but that goes that direction. The pictures go that direction. That's mutual
you say
exclusive.
that, and yet whenever I click on it, it doesn't do that. Downloading porn from the 1994.
It
just goes, I will open this picture massively big in one go. Ta-da!
It could also be you're physically closer to your server. There are packet inspections along the border. I'm going to stick at that. It's horrible. Chat, how's your reception of that? Does anybody else have these problems? And yes, Dutch, the internet is for porn. The internet is for porn. Grab your dick and double click. Porn, porn, porn. Yeah. So I'm going to blame my ISP then. Heck. Next project then, please.
Yes.
A toy helicarrier. That's in the making for some time now. I remember that we had looked at this some time ago.
Yeah, did we? I don't know.
Or somebody else had a similar project running.
I've been looking at it in the House of Order, Best House, where we've been discussing exactly how the colour modulation should go on the base of the giant helicarrier. But it's a hell of an upgrade for a tiny fighting plastic toy. Look at that! Look at that structure to chuck the Hulk through.
Yeah, and I see a alien fighter from Man in Black on the top left. Alien attack craft.
No idea what you mean.
Well, you know the movie... No, not Man in Black, Independence Day, sorry.
I do know the movie Men in Black, and I remember the 3 spaceships from the Queen's...
No, it was Independence Day.
New
I
York
was misremembering. I was just on... fixated on Will Smith.
Fixated on Will Smith. Well, you know, once you go black, huh?
You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
They've got huge cocks. That's what he means.
I wouldn't know. These are some interesting add-ons. I'm
trying to remember how to convert Swedish krona. It's like 70 Swedish krona to £1, isn't it? Don't mind me. We should continue looking at this. But yes, it started out as one little hexapod, and then it's just continued to be printed over the course of days, weeks, months, into this never-ending, ongoing bastion of 3D printness.
So it's slowly morphing from a small table design piece to a miniature table of its own.
Yeah. Well, it's... I'm trying to remember how big he said it was going to be. Like a meter long type of thing. You could potentially play across it. It could be most of your board. You could recreate that bit where Captain America gets the ever-living shit beat out of him by the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that looks big. What? He's a jet, isn't he?
He is. 3 feet, yeah, so roughly a meter. I wasn't far off. It's about 10 to 1 krona to euro, so just stick a decimal point in there. Which means they all seem very, very reasonable then. Oh my god. Oh, I couldn't possibly show you this website.
Oh, then you
Oh,
may...
it would cost you so much.
Luckily, I can't...
Starter set is only... Well, starter set would be €85.
Oh, I can't read anything of this. That's too,
Oh yeah,
too
no,
bad.
no,
That's a shame.
You shouldn't look at any of this.
Rules and accessories.
That's where I am, yeah. I've already done the heavy lifting. checking out what the exchange rate is.
849 kronas.
Yeah, so about €85. Bit less actually, probably more like 83.
But I'm pretty sure they don't ship to Germany because they can't stand Germans.
Are you kidding me? I just love Germans. Based on my reading, like Twilight of the Gods, at least 47 of them really, really like Germans an awful lot. They weren't quite keen whenever they got home, mind you. People were less than impressed with them, but you know. So yeah, absolutely stonking little thing. Also planning on doing a second top, by the way, as we discovered in the House of Water Best House earlier on, which would be more 40k based, so lots of gothic buttressing and stuff. And I suggested loads of skulls, just a big skull design across it. But I can't wait to see the paint job to bring it away from that chunky blue-grey toy look into something more.
And you know what?
More actual
needs
gamey
lights inside.
Eternal lighting.
Yes.
Just get tea lights, battery tea lights, and stick them upside down. SIG, Panzerkaput. Anyway, yeah.
Why
I'm
are
very
people
impressed
in
by that.
chat trying to make me spend money?
I've no idea.
What did I do to deserve this?
35 for delivery and tracking. It's a bit steep, but you know that's sweet.
That's
for you.
120 total for a core set. Not happening.
You know, I genuinely think it would be easier to get a ferry to Stockholm and just pick it up yourself, and cheaper.
Drive you there.
Yeah, any of that. I'll meet you at the International in Lornensgaten. It's a fantastic pub. If you're there before me, tell Jerry to get a pint on for me.
I'll send you a picture.
Please do. Shall we?
Next, yes. Ark World.
Get completely distracted. This is
Lost
a short one.
Socks McGraw. Oh.
Poor bugger has no socks. No socks here. However, it is the beginning of a small diorama. And I can't wait to see what exactly is going to be the diorama, considering that's what we're looking at already. I mean, the tattoo work alone is enough to make me have to sit down
And
think
touch
about dead
yourself.
puppies just to get the
Why did the sculptor get so big nipples on the work?
maybe, right? Maybe he likes the big nipples. What he should have done was paint the areola massively dark green as well, like big JCB starter buttons, as they used to say in school.
Yeah.
I mean, but just look at that. I mean, the striping on the pants.
I can't tell what is more irritating, the way he's dressing or the weird fungi growing on his shoulder. He
Oh, that's fine. He's a Bayou orc. I don't actually think it's growing on his shoulder. I think he's got a big wooden shoulder pad that he's just made by essentially strapping a log to him. So he's not actually gone full shroom. So he's okay so far. But they're one of the, I want to say they're the Bayou orcs, the Bjorks or something like that. However, I'm also fairly certain the guy from Ark World had possibly withdrawn them for sale or something at the moment because people complained. Because, you know...
Complained about what?
Oh, cultural insensitivity or some shit like that against orcs and or bayou-dwelling swamp folk. What I should have said was, these knuckle draggers will never see my orcs. Fuck yourself. But he didn't. Instead, he took the stuff off sale.
Well, this especially in this pose, he strikes me as a 80s.
Is that a racial appropriation?
An
Sure,
80s rock star on stage going full ham.
It's because of the striped pants.
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah.
He has the same pants that Bruce Dickens wore.
And his furry bits are one step away from blue denim. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, now I've got a song stuck in my head. Denim and Leather by Saxon.
You know, it's a way to go. However, like I say, interesting.
Yeah, this one needs to be followed.
Yeah, I'm dying to see what comes next, or even what the plan behind it is. I imagine it will be a whole Bayou theme thing, but at the same time, it might not be, because it's not actually for the game. It's just a little diorama using the model, so it might not be themed to where they come from out of the swamp. It may just be something totally unexpected. Oh, I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, this is going to be... I guess this is going to be fun. Next then is some Dan Lee doing Conquest. To do, Bayou. Nothing more, just painting stuff because you can.
Yeah, he started off by showing a couple of boxes, which is about as far as some of my colleagues got with their conquest armies.
I actually just bit my tongue not to mention that.
Oh no, you should definitely mention it. I was talking about it today.
So,
Two
Jerry,
of them are going, you know what we should do? We should play a game using our staff. I'll tell you what, we'll just use whatever we have painted. How about that? So
and then the room went silent.
Whatever the fuck you managed to do in the first month. I get my entire army.
Oh yeah,
That's
the
what it
days. Genuinely a nice throw in there. Heresy has done his Conan Rockstar Master Resin, and it looks amazing.
It's beautiful. It's also gone now. So
all 13?
45. There were only 4 left at 11 o'clock last night.
Did he
Put more up?
Yesterday he told Twitter that he had made 13 Resin Masters up for sale in the bigger scale.
All right. No, he said he was going to be selling 45. They could pull casts off, and then there were... Well, maybe it was 13. There were 45 quid each. Is that right?
Yeah, there were 45 quid each.
There were only 4 left last night at 11 o'clock.
Oh.
They're all gone now, I believe.
Oh,
they do look good. It'll be nice to see, because there's a fair to middling chance he's finally going to get the Kickstarter with it.
Oh, let's see. Heresy.
The only depressing thing is, he started working on that, I want to say, 5.5 years ago.
Yeah, I've been pestering him ever since.
When there were no plastic skeleton kits out there. Now there's a fucking million plastic skeleton kits, and I don't know if he's going to get funded. It's going to be a terrible, terrible shame.
1 unit in stock.
1 left. Wow. Well, in that case, somebody should jump in on that.
And if it weren't for postage, shipping, and import taxes, I would have gone for this one.
Okay, just drive over.
Just look at it. Can you see this? Does this show up? No, it doesn't.
I'll see it up close when it arrives. Don't worry about it.
What? You're telling me you bought that bugger already again?
Well, how do you think I know there was only 4 left yesterday?
I don't know. Yeah.
You can also follow his Kickstarter as well if you want to do that.
Yeah, already on that one, because I've been pestering him since he ever mentioned doing these very dynamic skeletons that I'd buy them. And you should put your money where your mouth is. If you pester a creative person to do something and they do it, you should put your monies down. So I'm
Your team.
going to go in there, but I reserve judgment on how deep I'll go. But judging by his usual prices, it's it's going to be reasonably priced, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it's going to be terrible.
So from Conquest,
one of those
we are
things.
now on Warhammer and playing grey boxes.
Those grey boxes are actually Mantic's Terrain Crate, which I have Papers, Please, and Wreck and Runes behind me. He's also got some stuff from the woods, which obviously is delightful.
Yes, and something else.
That's something from Specure.
No,
which is
I didn't
pronounced
read that.
Specure.
So on the right we see the woods. If
The woods are lovely, dark and deep.
And on the left, if the picture's loading, we have...
It's Mel.
Yes, the Terry Tutor, the double-headed monstrosity.
Monstrous.
Still wondering how I can get both heads on the shoulder, making him...
Some form of freak Etten.
Yeah, I was thinking about, because we're on the topic of Towel Day, what's his face again?
Seyfob Brox.
Yes.
Proper one. Not the one from the fucking film.
Yeah, with
film
two
so
heads
bad
from
Douglas
Mel
Adam died rather
that
than be
should
there when it was
work.
released. And he wrote the fucking thing.
Oh, it's Picure. He's just showing boxes now, is he?
Is he still alive? Yes, he appeared doing a video the other day. There you go. No, he's not doing. Go back up. Go back up. You're going down. He's not just showing the boxes because they all come unpainted. So that's him doing all the painting. So it's literally, I'm getting my shit together for this project, and the first thing I'm going to do is paint all of the incidental scattery bits that I need to paint for the scatteriness of it all. Via the medium of Gracier spray and as many different brightly coloured contrast paints as he can lay his hands on, which I think just goes to show, again, contrast and wash and inks have their place, and it's getting shit onto the table as quickly as you can. I also like the vibrancy of them. It's almost cartoon-like or comic book-like. It's very poppy.
They are very striking, to say the least.
Yep.
Not so much on the trees, but
well, you don't want your trees to be too big. Although he has put voluptuous pink on the shrooms.
Well, you want your shrooms to be shining.
Yeah, it's one way of doing it. I miss the old days where it was titillating pink. But my favourite has got to be the... I'm not sure what box that is, but it contains like a country garden. For Dig for Victory. And part of these are going to go into sort of bolt action-y type terrain. Because it's got a nice sort of mix of stuff. Obviously, the roundabout is no use. The seesaw will do the job for old-timey. And then various bushes and raised gardens and stuff is spot on for it.
And a lot of scatter terrain making obstacles.
Well, that's the Papers, Please set, which is nice. I notice he's actually got the... I didn't realise you got both. Oh, that was cool. So you get the German Guard hat, and then you also get the, I'm going to assume, outhouse. That has seen better days. And then there's also the outhouse with a lid on it, or telephone box, as I believe they were called for decades in the UK.
The older people will remember.
There's still a telephone box across the road from me. Shockingly, not sure what to do. And it's proper. It's not just one of those phones on a little standy thing. It's a proper box that you can go in and smell the piss. It's good.
I think I haven't seen a proper telephone box in ages around here. So this is his first miniature in this complex that he's painting, and he's going for object source lighting?
Yes. Using Waywatcher Green, so another contrast, and thinning the bejesus out of it with Lamia, which is essentially just a glaze.
So many thin coats have to be applied to make it work?
That's how God wants you to paint. It's how nature intended it. Weirdly, because we're discussing that before, regarding the instant paints, they are essentially pre-mixed glazes. So you don't have to do the thinning. It's already thinned. It is just about glazing and mixing.
Is the
building up layers.
consistency of those paints more consistent than the
Yes.
Games Workshop stuff?
Yes.
I
Don't
don't
even need to go any further. Yes.
I don't have any first-hand experience, but what I've heard from various sources is that the contrast paints are varying from very liquid to very bloopy.
Oh, some of them are like tar. I got them to send me a set down because I have a fuckload of stuff to paint for the studio. I was like, well, a lot of this could be done with contrast to speed it up and make my life easier. And it's not easier in any way, shape, or form. It's fucking head melt. I'm glad I didn't spend the 50 or 60 quid or whatever it was for those 5 paints, because I'd have topped myself.
Yeah, I can guess that much.
I would, if I'd bought them, I'd have gone back in and fucking forced whoever was behind the counter to drink them. Jesus Christ, they're bad. But anyway, you know, it's what it is. However, I quite like that.
The next one then is a recurring theme. We have seen this before with a very inventive way of making fur on your shoulder pads.
Oh, wait till you see the fucking mad dog shit that they're doing now. Furry shoulder pads with static grass tufts.
Hold on, this looks like a tow vehicle.
I don't know what it is. It could be made out of parts of a tow vehicle and parts of other things. It could be upside down. I like the fact it's got cutting discs everywhere. There's also some interesting...
And those are real
pieces.
cutting discs.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, why fuck around trying to make a cutting disc when you can just buy a Dremel-based cutting disc and attach it? It's genius. His paint job is very peculiar. You'll see it on the next entry, because there's like, he's used like a pastely green, like a verdigris green you would get on sort of copper and stuff as his base color, and then use like chipping effect paint and stuff so he can chip back to it. Whereas I looked at that and I went, you know, what would be easier, just sort of painting it up and then putting the effect on afterwards. But it's come through very nicely on both of them. I really, really like the mad shit that is going on with this. It's what I always wanted to see. Mad Max on the tabletop.
Oh, this is
like,
glorious.
Yeah. See, tufts, we've gone beyond where we're going. We won't need roads. Styly. Eyelashes for fucking plumage. Are you shitting me? Why has nobody done that before?
I was just about to ask you, how in the world did millions of wargamers never think of this?
Because
this is
millions
so...
of wargamers don't wear fake eyelashes.
This
and
is
will
so
never have a girl that wears
obvious.
fake eyelashes. So they just sit there in ignorance that they even exist. It's genius. It is fucking genius.
And it even comes with its own glue, so...
Yeah, I would probably apply slightly more adhesive-y glue to that, because like self-adhesive tufts, we know that they're not actually adhesive for more than a couple of hours, and then your tufts will fall off your base, because they're not really designed to be permanent fixtures on somebody's eyeball. But we can't go without mentioning the hood ornament. It's like something from Death Race. It's like Frankenstein would have that on the front of his car. Fucking amazing.
Death Race 2000. And I think those are actually Games Workshop models, because he's talking about them being rich runners from the Gene Stealer's cult range.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Most of the stuff in here is GW, and then he's just gone off on one, which is just great.
Yeah, I love the blood splattering, being physical correct around the saw blades.
You don't want to know how many stray cats in his area died before he got...
I need to do some testing. Please hold still.
You need 3 for it to be statistically significant, I'm just saying. And then that's vertical and horizontal. It's at least 6 stray cats dead. Otherwise, it's just a coincidence.
Yes,
I think love it the bits.
I think Crazy is onto something. He says the real reason why we need more ladies in the hobby they know these things like detachable eyelashes and stuff.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So, Lena, why didn't you tell everybody about detachable eyelashes?
The correct response to that is you never asked.
Fair enough. So,
They tell me about nail polish, mind you. So that's coming up in a jerry can soon.
Well, you'll never stop learning. Next project then. Painting Evil Dwarfs by Sarah.
Every day's a school day. This is a relatively short one from Selden.
He says he's painting dwarfs, but these don't look like dwarfs.
We've been here before, so we will hit a point where there's some nice stuff. These are Warmonger / Foundry Fantasy, I believe.
They do look
which gives him
nice.
some slave orcs, because slave orcs are very important. I'm not sure what they're mounted on. It almost feels like he's 3D printed a round base, which just seems like a massive waste of a 3D printer. It's very weird. Why are they so blue? What's going on? I have so many questions. Anyway, ignoring the primed orcs, because that's not why we're here.
I love the
the unprimed
designs.
orcs. Oh yeah, you know.
So ignoring the orcs, he says.
Ignoring the orcs, the dwarves are why we're here, and after this entry you'll see them. There you go. Naughty dwarves, being all naughty and painted.
They all seem to have a very serious case of hay fever. So red eyes. So many red eyes.
Yeah, it's because they're evil as fuck.
What? You need red eyes to be evil? Where's that written? That kind of weird rule.
Don't know.
Yeah, and
maybe it's red contact lenses. Don't Sith have yellow or red eyes, or yellowy red? That's how you know they're Sith.
I can't tell because the best Sith ever has a black mask where you can't see through.
Well, the best Sith ever sits on a chair cackling like an insane old monkey.
Yeah, these are very much in line what we have seen from him before. Very dark and I
like the I suppose texture that he's painted on the leather on the coats. You can see it particularly well on the Lloyd shots.
Yeah, it's
just to make them look less smooth.
Detail work, even with the subtle highlighting going across. I couldn't be asked to do.
You know,
maybe that's why
that's why we're here visiting this. He does it so we don't have to, Tim.
And maybe that's why I'm so not into painting fantasy stuff. Way too many clothing stuff. Legion is much more forgiving. It's a uniform. It's one color, done.
You talking about? They wear fucking camo overcoats in the rebellion, for fuck's sake, and ponchos. If anything, that's worse than one color leather. Anyway, we shall return to this at some point in the future when hopefully he's done a bit more.
More dwarves.
Well, I want to see the orcs and goblins, because he prepped those a little while ago and it's been sitting in my folder of things I need to revisit. People will be pleased to hear I managed to clear out 100 or so things that I hadn't been near in a while, so it's all good.
I know I'm going to regret asking.
Never regret. No regrets.
In Frostgrave, the player units are usually only human, are they? Or is it race agnostic?
Yeah, it has a archetype. So soldier, fighter, lover, shaker, wizard, ninja, templar. But it doesn't matter what the race is.
So I could take these lovely sculpts from Warmonger and make a Frostgrave adventurer party.
Oh yeah. Oh, you should definitely do that, especially with the Revenant elves. elf vampires with their norks out. It's amazing.
I knew I would hate asking.
Oh, you should always ask. What's the worst that can happen? You get an answer.
Yes, that's very much true. Quickly, let us venture forth. Grey Knights. From
Key nuggets from
feeble blubber.
feeble blobber indeed. Feebly, blobbly, wobbly.
Sometimes I wonder if you choose projects simply because of the weird names of the users.
Sometimes, yeah. This is just getting off the ground.
Holy fucks! Is this man insane?
Teddy Westside, is that what he said? No, he's very cleverly used crackle medium to do lava. So you paint it red and yellow, and then you put crackle medium over the top, and then you spray the shit out of it black. And then you sit back and play the waiting game, and it does that.
Holy fuck, that looks great.
It's good, isn't it? It's a genius way of doing it. For very lazy people, it's a very clever way of doing it.
And the additional paint job on the talons and the tail is just pushing it over the edge.
It's so shiny.
Oh, you look so beautiful. May I touch you?
Shiny. So, I think that is the inspiration for what he's planning on going down the madhouse with some demons and grey knickets.
Oh, big
so he's just been
boys.
doing a bit of building. So that's, you won't see any more painting in this, unless he manages to sneak one in while we're actually talking here. But there's some nice bits of kit bashing, building, and modelling coming up, which will be fascinating to see how they go whenever they're painted, because it's not just the Dread Knight suffers from being a shit model. It's a very static model. It does nothing. It looks terrible. Whereas the repositioning, the sort of turning it into a mini diorama where you've got demons attempting to swarm over it and pull the axe and stuff away from it, actually makes it look much more interesting than fucking Ripley and a power lifter. So yeah, I like that. I like the idea that they wouldn't just stand in front waiting to be swept aside. They'd be clambering all over him, attempting to rip him out of that fucking suit. Yeah,
and somehow it feels wrong to have a Space Marine latched in front of a walking machine.
I don't know.
Let's put the most vulnerable part right in front.
Things. Yeah, it's the same whenever you get into a fight in the street and you've got your toddler strapped to your chest. It's operative armor. It may not survive the encounter, but you know it'll soak some damage before you get fucked over yourself.
Yeah, we may not mention that again.
No, you sure? He has got into. He started doing the demon painting, but that's similar to the style he's gone for on the Ned creature we've seen at the start. So it's, you know, that reddy black looking on the weaponry, which is nicely executed. There's a weird bit where he shows a bit of skin off his foot. I'm not sure whether that's native.
Oh look, the one on the blade is cut in half.
And that'll fucking harden him on it. He won't walk that off.
Probably not. Yeah, it is going to be interesting once it's finished, or at least started to be painted.
Yeah.
And if he's going to manage a paint job that is similar to his Trigon, holy fuck, this is going to look great.
Well, I think that's more for the demons. I assume the Grey Knight will look like a Grey Knight. He is asking if people think he should be putting the skin off his foot on the front of the walker. It's like a psychic shield. So if you have any strong opinions on whether or not some hard skin should be attached there, just in front of the fella to stop him being stabbed up, then comment in the comment bit where it says comment. I see somebody's already commented. I should go in and say what they said. Dan Lee. It's hard to say what the effect will be without seeing the shield in place. That makes sense. Clever. Clever.
It's an interesting thing, it is. Yes.
Trigon's also the name of a tyrannid monster. I assume they have the same etymology, i.e. the names were both stolen from a mythical monster.
A DC villain. Father to Raven from Teen Titans. Name recycling, it's a thing.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say GW didn't watch Teen Titans and go, that'd be a great name for a tyrannid monster.
Only
not when there's so many other things they could be stealing from.
Next then is Paint It or Punt It by Ninjali.
Again,
This
not many updates in this one.
This made me genuinely chuckle when I looked at it the first time today. This pan-wielding, I'm the grandmother wolf in disguise.
You know, it's one way of going.
Like she's screaming, "What do you mean my eyes are big, you ungrateful little cunt?"
It is Birds and Badgers though, so it's entirely possible she's not actually in disguise and she is just...
Yes, she's the granny.
a granny, you know. Could be worse. A human may have come in there. But, you know, Ben's not here, so I thought I'll find some Birds and Badgers.
And the pose from the bat strikes me like one of the early vampires from the silent movie era, with the very extravagant posing going.
Oh, he's full on Bela Lugosi.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank you for putting his name into my head, because I haven't been thinking about Bela Lugosi for the past 3 or 4 days now. Thanks. Continuously.
Why did you?
Because I got the song Bela Lugosi's Dead, but by
Oh,
stuck in my
God.
head, and it's just been going round and round in there in circles literally for fucking 4 days. However,
that's a song I want to get out of my head now. Please.
oh, it's an amazing song.
I'm happy that that was a song that wasn't frequently played when I was working at a discotheque. There was enough other things of similar nature.
So this is the last entry we need to look at, because after this it's Star Wars Legion, which we've seen way back in January, but this has been dormant since January, and that's why we have this, where we've got a breakdown.
So I see Frostgrave, I see Lord of the Rings, some
Judge
Romans.
Dredd.
Where do you see
Napoleonic French?
Where's Judge Dredd? I seem to miss Judge Dredd.
I'm going out on a limb and say it's in the box. However, I'm also using the text that accompanies the picture.
Oh, those with the green hat. Yes, those could be very much Judge Dredd.
There you go. Hands and boots. Hands and boots. Anyway, so 79 models, 30 days to get them all finished. And there you have the breakdown. So
Ready,
Birds
set,
and
go.
Badgers, Birds and Badgers 7 miniatures, 5 of them already done. So knock that one off. You know, it'll be interesting. And we'll see, not everything's starting from scratch. A few things will be, which is, you know, funky, I suppose, tricksy, aggravating, because you've got to build them, clean them up, prime them.
This is a sentence.
Just build them up and paint them. You know.
I think we all can feel more than once. I can now look at the Kickstarter without that guilt. Because he almost finished all of his Birds and Badgers.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I need
as soon as she's finished with her Birds and Badgers, I'll look at Kickstarter again without any guilt. I'll, again, living vicariously, I'll think, that's 7 miniatures done. I'll just check out this dwarven Kickstarter here. Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
How many miniatures? More than 7?
Could be. I only really need some Pavia's shield rifle wielding dwarves.
I think the last Kickstarter for miniatures was the Morg miniature one. Kids on Wheels. Those are painted. The last one before that were the Scallypops. Those are painted.
Right.
And the last Kickstarter for miniatures before that was Judge Dredd Block Wars, and those are painted.
What do you feel the need to punish yourself so much, though, with all of this painting before diving back into Kickstarter? You know what you should do? You should relax, take some time, maybe have a cup of coffee, check out Apfelspiel in Sweden. You know, to see what comes to you. Just let it all hang out.
You know what?
Yeah.
My wife always asks me, what do you want for your birthday?
Oh, well, there you go. Now you're sorted.
And my birthday is only a bit more than 2 months away. I shall give this a think.
I would.
Yeah, knowing me, I'll have forgotten everything we've talked about the minute the stream goes offline.
Oh, don't worry.
As is tradition.
We'll just send stuff to your house.
Next, then, a foray into Napoleonic wargaming. Scripts. Did we see this before? I think so.
Yes, ages ago.
But he improved, did he?
Well, done more. Look, French Voltigers. Sometimes you need to protect your column, and the best way to do that is to put light troops out to get murdered before you. All the models by Zan. Zan, toys that children dream of. Actually, that's Zapf. Zapf creations, toys that children dream of.
Oh god, for some reason I now was just thinking about the spincast machine that Out of the Woods got themselves. How did he call it? He did name it.
I can't remember.
Bloody hell.
I'm going to say Metal Mickey, although I know it's not that.
No,
But that was a great show.
He used the font from Iron Maiden for it. Bloody hell, how did he... Oh, images not appearing at all.
I know. Right, Bina, if it's any help, I'm going to open the KGL up and look at them. Huzzars. Oh.
It's not leaving me any... Hold on. New tab. Oh, bloody hell, I can't remember how the studio was called. Oakbound.
What?
Oakbound Studio. There's his Instagram. I think.
Oh.
Did he put it there? Or did he just put it on?
I thought it was in the YouTube video thing. It's not. No.
No, it was definitely a
Imagine
picture.
that.
Then possibly been face page.
Oh, well.
I'll just have a look. Oopsie. You entertain.
Anyway, while he's doing that, so Gordon Highlanders are done and dusted, which is good. It also means he can leave Tartan behind for a little while and concentrate on the more important things in life, like huzzas.
Is there
with their
something more
outrageous,
important than Target?
outrageous police? You know, pays to be flash when you're going to war.
Either I have been dreaming this, or he... Oh no, you know, it was on the stories of Instagram. And those bloody things go away after 24 hours.
Oh, there you
Let's
go.
see, is it still on here? Probably not. Oh, sadly it's gone. Ah, bloody hell. It was a genuinely interesting name, but I can't remember. Beastie! Yes, of course, Panzer. You're right, Beastie. After the similar called album from Jethro Tull. Beastie and the Broadsword.
That's an album I've not had the misfortune of hearing in decades.
Fun fact, I've got the vinyl.
It's not a fun fact.
It is. I very much like it.
You sure?
Yes. I'm weird like that.
Speaking of weird, so I can't remember if he said way back when what system he was building these for. He's kept basing conventions similar to most other games, except he shrunk everything. So whereas they would normally be on 40mm square for 28mm infantry, he's rocking out some AB. I can't remember if AB's 10 or 15. I think they're 10. But anyway, they're on 15mm square bases, so everything's going to be fucking tiny. Which I imagine is because he's planning on playing on a smaller area.
Full-scale wargaming on a small scale?
Well, you know, it's one way of looking at it, certainly.
Oh, we can't get to the first one. This would be another
Oh, no,
page.
yeah, well, I can, you can't. I'll have a look while you click buttons and do stuff. Don't mind me.
Oh, already clicked all the buttons.
Have you? Oh, and then you just move on to the next one. I'll give the kids the thing.
Yes, next one is how to be an armored farmer. And this is
the one we didn't get through last week because you were fighting your internet provider. You'll be pleased to hear he's done more. He's mostly talking about getting ready to prep and paint, and he's going to be doing this by the medium of airbrushing. So if people haven't or just getting into airbrushing, there's really good advice in there. A lot of good advice.
Oh, and he's basically using the same setup that I used.
Yeah. However, that's why I wanted to come here. There's the AVRE bobbin. So if you go down a bit, you'll see the beginning of that. Because that is wholly built from scratch. It's like, okay, I need to make a carpet layer. So the bobbin needs to be built, as does the superstructure to carry the bobbin, as does the carpet that goes around the bobbin, which will require me to go into massive depth and time and effort to scratch build all of these, up to including cutting the pipe out. And yeah, I imagine it will actually lay the carpet for your vehicles to follow it up the beach in Normandy. It's all good, all good.
I think we have established last time that he's a bit of a mad lad.
He's bajankers, as they say in France. Is that what they say?
Could be. I have been there only twice. Never want to go back again.
You say that, but whenever he's got them all painted, I'll take us back. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm pretty sure you're going to make me.
Oh, I will. Have absolutely no fear on that one. Doesn't say what system he's planning on using. So that'll be interesting. He's just enjoying building his Napoleonics. Fascinating. I mean, it would work for black powder. I've got the new Absolute Emperor from Osprey I'm reading through at the moment to try and work out what's going on with it. It could be a good candidate for it. Fascinating.
I have the same tool he used for cutting circles, and it's terrible.
Is it? You're just not using it right. I have one as well. Actually, I've got two. I've got a backup one in case this breaks and I really need to cut out desks or something.
It could also be
always have
that
backups.
I've got a cheap Chinese knockoff.
They're just slightly fiddly. I would say every time you're planning on using it, new blade, fresh blade, please. But
the biggest problem for me is that the center starts moving because I can't keep it in the middle.
all right, no, you need like a self-healing cutting mat, and then
Drive it real in.
or thick cardboard or something like that. You need to get in a certain bit so it doesn't move, and then many slow light scores. You shouldn't be trying to cut it in one go. It's a time-consuming, tedious affair to do it properly, but it does give you really nice results.
Yeah, the biggest advantage is you have the possibility of scaling your diameter to the exact size you want, and you don't need to have 20,000 different punches laying around to have that one
But in some
perfect
cases,
circle.
punches just won't do the job, because they can kink out or compress and pinch. So especially if you're doing something like that, there's a chance that you wouldn't actually just get a nice. You get a perfect circle, but it wouldn't be flat,
Yeah.
you'd end up with like distortion to it. So it's always good. But yeah, I love it. Love it to bits.
It's an insane amount of work.
Oh, it's so good, so good.
I wonder, doing all this work and taking pictures and
Yes.
making the project entry, how is that possible?
I imagine he's pressed family member doing it. Maybe his son. He's just forced to stand beside him and take countless pictures.
Now, every time I cough, you take a picture.
Yeah, I mean, works for me. Makes sense.
This is an impressive setup already.
Isn't it?
They-
Imagine what they'll all look like when they're all painted. And like I say, just for D-Day and pretty much that's it. Maybe part of the breakout. But otherwise, most of those, that's it. You don't bother with any of the shit again. So, excellent.
Yeah, it's nice. Totally.
What you can see is the one in the middle is all plastic card construction. Yep. And at one point he has the plastic card skids for the front of the plough locked in a vise, compressing them, so when he takes it out, it's very gently turned the front of the skid up to stop it digging in as you go forward, which is very important.
Yes, on a technical level it is. I think for the model he could have gone without.
No, have to. Or it won't work.
Yeah, so his airbrush setup is hauntingly familiar. This is I think what nearly everybody has as a mobile painting station.
That's what I have.
Though,
Sometimes I even set it up.
yeah, mine has lighting integrated, which is very handy.
Show off.
Yes. And similar, what do you call them, airbrush holder.
Yeah.
Which is nice to have.
Mine's much nicer. Mine's called like the octopus or something. It's like looks like the crystal maze. If the crystal maze was an airbrush holder / cleaner, that's what mine is.
The very most important part is the breathing masks. Never go without them.
Yep.
And I think,
Even though they became very difficult to get during Corona,
yeah,
because cants thought that they would help them. They won't help them. You cants.
and also this is, I think, the most sold compressor type ever.
Yep.
These what they call AS186.
Sure.
This is
Could be.
basically the number you can put into Amazon or eBay, and you'll get 1 million offers from China with different degrees of sets accompanying. Some come with additional stuck on parts, or maybe even an airbrush.
Yep. In most cases, it's worth getting it with the airbrush because it's cheaper than buying it without the airbrush. Getting an airbrush set will get the compressor by itself, and then they tack an extra 20 quid on it for just the compressor.
Yeah, and you
I've
can,
had mine for years. It's a workhorse of a little thing.
and also these things aren't really loud, even the cheaper ones. It's
No, they're very good.
You don't want to use them when the baby is asleep, but
I don't know. Can you hear this? If I turn it on?
not really.
No? There you go then.
Shot glasses also very useful for pre-mixing your paint. You don't want to mix your paint in your airbrush.
You don't
For the
want to,
most
but
time.
you will.
Yes.
Oh, stop.
Oh.
Hammer time. See the stuff on the right? The little airbrush cleaning brushes?
Yes.
If you get those, the
Throw
very
them-
first thing you should do is
throw
throw them in
them
the bin.
away.
In the bin to fuck. If you want a tiny little brush like that, because all of those, you can actually see it there. You can see the end of the wire sticking out, the bristles, which will just scrape the ever-living shit off it. It's just below your cursor. It's like a big fuck-off silver dot. Look at it. Wow. If you have an airbrush and you have those, don't bother. If you want those, go and buy yourself a set of interdental dentist's brushes.
Yeah, these
Get them.
little ones.
Yeah, and you can get them with little rubber bristles instead of metal bits in them, which is much safer than scraping the ever-living shit out of the chrome on your airbrush. But anyway, I digress. Apart from that, I'm in total agreement with him. He even has Super Lube. Super Lube.
What is Super Lube?
It's just a silicone-free lubricant for lubing up the needle and moving parts and stuff.
Iwata Media Inc. So this is from a trusted, reputable brand of airbrush makers.
Yeah. You can apparently use glycerine as well, because I have glycerine. So when you're not making royal icing for your cakes, you can use that to lubricate stuff. However, I find it does dry out, even though people say it doesn't. However, I do keep glycerine on hand because it's good for preserving lichen and mosses and shit like that for your tabletop. So it has its use, just not dipping my airbrush into it.
He has quite a selection of airbrushes.
Yeah, Badger Sotar and I have the same Infinity as he has, the CR Plus.
They do look expensive.
It is. However, what I will say is, I don't know where he got his Badger stuff from, but Badger do 2 annual sales every year. You have to order them from them, but they do sell shit ridiculously cheap. If that's the sort of thing you're after. The Infinity I got because it was German engineered, well worth the couple £100 it cost, and it's a thing of beauty. And one of the nice things about it, unlike the Iwata, I'm not sure about the Badger. I don't think Badger used the same fittings. The Iwata has a screw-in nozzle, and you can over-screw it and ruin the threads, or whenever you're taking it off, you can rip the O-rings and stuff. The Infinity just has a press-fit Teflon seal, just no ring Teflon thing, and it's literally just, you just put it in, and that's it. I think the Badger is something similar, but in brass. So less mechanical wear on the airbrush. But I've got a little... Oh man, it's just sitting way down there. Can I reach it without... Oh, I can. I got that as my first proper airbrush after I went Chinese airbrushes are not great. And it was, I'm going to say, 70 quid. Which is mid-ranged, I would say. Like 25 quid for some unbranded cheap piece of shit, and then a couple £100 for proper, quote-unquote, artist airbrush. It's not made by Iwata. It's made by somebody else for Iwata. However, they do cover it with their same 5-year guarantee for parts and services and shit like that. And that's an excellent little airbrush. In fact, I got a couple of replacement parts for it this week, and I've been testing it out again because I got it probably a bit too early when I was still ham-fisted as fuck with airbrushing and wankered parts of it. But then it cost me like £15 for replacement nozzle and needle, and then that's up and running beautifully again. So for 15 quid, happy days, I fixed that, and that airbrush is good to go once more.
Oh, there was a spam bot in chat and I did catch it.
Yeah, no, I seen it ages ago, but they only spammed once. I don't think telling them to fuck off will make much of a difference. They'll go to somebody else. I'm probably being reported by now anyway.
It's gone.
Anyway.
Yes, let's go back to the project in question.
The wee Neo is beautiful. If I'd been better at thinning paints, if I'd found Jay Dan's website or / YouTube site before I got the Neo, I'd have been much better, because he gave me the best piece of advice ever during a live stream one day, which was, whenever you think you've thinned your paints enough for your airbrush, thin them some more. And if I'd learned that little fucking nugget early on, I wouldn't have banjaxed them quite as badly.
Yeah.
And then gunk them with paint, and then those shitty wire brushes I got because everybody fucking sold them, and I was like, oh, I must use these, and just ended up bollocking it completely. However,
when push comes to shove, then the next one is Man of War.
Yeah, so this is a fella, I'll let you pronounce the name.
Neujatat.
Go team. See how we work together. They've decided to start playing Man of War. and unfortunately went to Fleabay and discovered the prices were ridiculous. Like anything old hammery, the prices are ridiculous. But he's doing this thing with those 3D print things, like what the kids do.
But I'm sure this will never catch on.
No, I can't imagine so. It's easier just carving them out of, just get yourself a block of cheese, just carve out of that.
Cheese of all things.
Yeah, a bit of cheddar.
What are you? Are you Hammond? Mark Hammond? Cheese.
When you're finished, you can just have a nice bit of cheese. In fact, I would go so far as to say if you base all of your ships on tuck crackers, you could play a game and then just eat the casualties. Just saying. However,
I will mangle my fleet. Your victory, month.
So I think long time. I don't know if we looked at this together.
Yeah, we
just
did.
looked at it when he was starting. Anyway, he was getting all stuff prepped and primed and printed. However, he has been whacking the colours on like there's no tomorrow, and so we get a myriad of posts. Once again, he too has managed to get his hands on a small child to sit beside him and take loads of pictures every time he kicks the table or something like that. So we can see the Elven fleet getting whacked together in timely fashion. And look, for a ship that small, it only required 3 easy
20
steps
billion paints.
and 15 hard ones. Bye, Spanky.
Let's count them. It's 3 across. 2,
Well, we
3,
can ask
4,
him.
5, 6, 7, 21 pictures.
Yeah, but you won't have to ask what brown did you use for the decking because you can look at it and go, those 3. It's good.
Where did
It's
he
more for
use-
himself, I imagine. More for himself than us, to be brutally honest.
Can you spot the red dot he did? And why?
Is it not on the ballista on the
Yeah,
front?
it is.
Yeah, it's perfectly. Why was that even a question, Tim? You need your eyesight looking at me. You should have gone to Specsavers. Fletching on the bolts, to be fair, not felching, which is something different. If you're watching this later on, kids, you should definitely Google felching. I'll leave the safe search off for that one.
Who put
But-
safe search on?
I don't know, parents apparently. And which is very dumb of parents because it means they'll have to have the talk at some point. Whereas if you just leave that off and let them Google to their heart's content, they'll never have to have that talk.
Or you simply have
Just
the
removes a
talk
whole,
before everything goes to shit.
If you have to talk too soon, they'll never know what felching is. So yeah, little fleet.
They do look nice,
Eagle
though
ships a go-go.
the weird tower top looks a bit strange. To be honest.
Oh, very much so. I thought you were gone, Spanky. Did the... Oh, no, it was Lena was away. All right. Bye, Lena. See how she just fucks off while we're mid-talk about felching, Tim.
Aww.
She'll find that one out tomorrow whenever she rewatches the end of it, because I know she will.
Oh, I very much hope so. And having a vacation is a nice thing to have.
I was going to say, have you found the rules yet, Gaz?
The rules for Man of War aren't available on the interwebs? I would be astounded.
They probably are, but I know it said they couldn't remember them, and they just started talking about it. Well, I may actually have them. They were there. Where the fuck are they? Oh, I've moved them somewhere safe. That's always a rookie mistake. What's this? How long have they been there? It's the assembly instruction for fucking Abomination from Skaven. There's Necromunda magazine issue 4. Hey, copyright 2001, kids.
Oh, you're starting to make me feel old again. You.
A Perilous Quest. Right,
Oh,
so
God.
I'm pretty sure I have the rules for Man of War, Plague Fleet, and Sea of Blood. Which if you can't find them, I may be able to provide you with them. Or you got them. Oh, of course, the Trove. God bless the Russians. But yeah, that'll be fascinating. Are you going to have any limits? Because Man of War was a good game. I'm not going to say it's a great game. It's a good game. But then when you add in things like flyers, it fucked it. There were certain rules that came in with some of the supplements that just overwhelmingly favoured certain fleets, at which point other fleets could fuck off. There's no point in taking Empire Britonia ever again.
They've gone for all ships. Well, that
is the best way. Yeah,
it's a game of naval battle, so I think this should be the way to do it.
It should be, but even then, I mean, you know, you go for all ships, but a Dark Elf fleet went, well, half of our shit's sitting on the back of sea monsters, krakens, and leviathans, so we can ignore the wind and just come at you from behind. You're going, oh, you fucks. Meanwhile, the dwarves were just stoking the fires. It's going, oh, you fucks. It's one of the reasons I like Armada from Mantic. They went, yeah, wind exists. Yeah, there are optional rules for it. And if you don't want to play with that, just fucking ignore them. Just play your game, and that way it's more balanced. If you add in the optional rules, at that point the dwarf fleet starts going chug, 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 chug.
We're going to eat you.
You bastards again. Bastards. Printed dwarves for your friend, you fool, you fool.
Let's move on then, shall we? The next is
second to last, penultimate.
The young one again.
MCP, Marvel Crisis Protocol. Look, it's got a Skaven t-shirt on. See, Hellpit Abomination. Maybe that's nature's way of telling me I should assemble my Hellpit Abomination now that I found where the assembly instructions are.
Could very well be.
I pre-ordered that set. Actually, I pre-ordered 2 of that set.
She's listening Mozart while doing.
Yes, yes, yes.
This is getting scary. Listening to Mozart while painting weird religious fanatics.
To be brutally honest, because I find if I'm listening to anything with lyrics, I get distracted by lyrics after a while. Whereas if you can just find instrumental stuff, or better yet, foreign stuff. I have a little bunch of Icelandic and Swedish things that I listen to that I cannot fucking understand, and that stops me getting distracted by the lyrics. So, it's a way to go. But I have to say, they're not quite finished yet, because obviously they need basing, but that set of 3 there have come together really, really nicely.
Indeed. And if she doesn't screw up the basing, I think that's a very high contestant for the Young One prize.
Of which we have a couple. Wow.
Speaking of having a couple, when I see this printer in the background, my wife got herself a cutter, a computer controlled cutting device for...
I know the things you're talking about, where you tell it you want 50 hearts interlaced on a page, and it's like a Calibre machine or something. It's got a really weird name. Something started to say. But anyway, yes, go ahead, cutter.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what to use it for hobby-wise. Maybe using some stencils for airbrushing.
Crazy you can't. Sigur Rós mixes Icelandic with a made-up language that was created by the lead singer, so some of it is just complete nonsense and gibberish. It's not actually words, it's just sounds. And knowing that, I don't even have to look anything up, because you're going, could be speaking Icelandic, could be doing his made-up song. Sigur Rós, fucking finally, a lead singer that speaks to me. However, oh no, I couldn't listen to trance. The inst. Oh no. Closest I get is 9 Inch Nails. They use computers for stuff.
You want to have something relaxing for painting.
But yeah, I have to say, that's...
I'm curious if she managed to get this thing done before the end of the sprinkling challenge. She's on a good way.
Yeah, I think it's not overloading it, because there haven't been... It's not like there was a rush at the start where it's tons and tons and tons of updates and there's not a fuckload of miniatures. It's just 3 miniatures that you wanted to paint. Keep it simple and don't overwhelm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the fact that they are more or less looking like a team, I think they will do a decent job of being shown off in your room on the shelf, even for non-gamers. Just being, oh look, those look nice. Did you paint these? And maybe a few years down the road, she's going full ham and will be buying some
Spring
big
clean
boxes.
finishes on the first day of summer, or near enough that. So I think the last day of spring is Sunday the 20th. So that'll probably be our knocking off point. In which case we'll probably announce the winners then the following week on the weekender. So you've got literally a month from today.
A little more than 3 weeks, as my daughter has told me today, because that's the day she has a birthday. And she's counting down 4 weeks now.
I think it's a bit mean that you make your children check their birthday by the Spring Clean Challenge. You know, I'm just saying. Most people just give them a date.
Yeah. Well, why should I?
That is very true.
Last
Very,
project for
very
the day, then. Also a reoccurring visitor.
Month to finish 5 months. You fucking speed painter soup. A decade to finish 5 models. I've still not fucking got them done.
Oh,
Anyway.
this is starting to look even better.
Oh, that we are literally just here for the backdrop for the tramp. He's done some beautiful things. I'm not just talking about the water, the dock, and all the rest. There's just some really nice touches in there. For example, later on you'll see a tram line that he's setting up in it. And there's a little tram to go on it. And the advertising up the side of the tram is for the adventures of Hergé's Tintin.
No, it isn't.
Which makes sense
Oh.
because all of the models on board the tram steamer is Tintin and pals.
Oh, this is grand.
And there's Lobster as well on the roof. You know.
I love this nut to Hergé.
Yeah, it's the way to do it. It is the way to do it.
And I'm really... I want to see the board finished with all these background buildings done in the same painting scheme like in a Tintin comic.
It's getting to the point where I wonder if you'll do a painted backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the buildings, but then you have...
Even more
You
buildings.
see the way it's up against the wall there, you could see the city or whatever disappearing off into the distance. Because you don't need a huge amount of room to play whatever game it is. So if you've got a little 3 foot by 3 foot setup there, that would be great. I mean,
it would make
fucking phenomenal without it, but I'm just thinking it's practically layout based at that stage.
it would make a perfect scenario for a demo table.
Oh yeah. Oh
Ju-
god, yeah.
Just push that in the middle of a big hall like UK Games Expo, and people will flock around it.
Well, not UK Games Expo because they'll all be board game players.
Yeah, but okay,
China.
so
But Salute or a proper convention. That's true though. I mean, like 99% of UK Games Expo is board games and card games and stuff like that. Miniature wargaming is a very, very small amount.
I never been there, and
Neither have I. I'm just basing it on the shit I've seen in the past.
yeah, but that's definitely some project that shows how much passion can go into one's work, and not just be a I need to paint this. But because sometimes
balsa docks.
I feel that people are painting things simply because they feel the need to get them done and dusted to have them off their mind.
It's entirely possible.
I'm not saying I'm not guilty from that in any way, shape, or form. I surely have done things like that simply to get them off. And I guess some people in the audience have too, at some point or another.
The only time I paint something is when I've got a deadline.
Yeah, but you are currently painting for work, basically, aren't you?
Yes.
Even if it's your
Yeah,
private.
that's what I
art.
mean. Yeah, that I only paint if I've got a deadline. and it's generally work in post. Otherwise, I paint whatever I want whenever I be arsed. and you know, if it gets finished, happy days. If it doesn't, something else will be coming my way soon.
Yeah, I'd like.
You say it's for vendors mainly, but name a bigger convention than Salute where you're going to see that amount of tables and games put on. Certainly not UK Games Expo.
People on YouTube will be very annoyed that they don't understand the context of some things that Jerry's saying, but that's
Fuck
the
'em.
thing.
They know when this goes out. They could be here if they wanted.
Yeah. Also, most of the things I think aren't that valid or wrong wording aren't that much of interest for other people's in the long run, other than the ones making the comment in the comment section and then the answer referring to them. You haven't watched today's video from on tabletop.com, Spanky tells.
Spoilers. Justin cheated, apparently.
Or misinterpreted the rules, if you're being generous.
Cheated. I was robbed.
Well, but I actually when I heard the way that he constructed his forces with a sniper, and
Now, to be fair, I constructed them because I had 3 days to construct, paint, and get the fuckers down there. So
Yep.
I literally handed him a force and went, here's your force, here's what's in it. And then I went, you still need to pick your powers for your first base and for your captain.
yeah, but when he said he's got a sniper, and you said, yeah, I've got a bribe, I was like, yeah, I know where this is going.
Oh, the bribe. Bribes are good.
It's an interesting mechanic.
They do have wargame stuff there, but just not much. I think it's kept in the back corner where it won't offend people.
Getting someone to not do something sheer out of spite. No, you don't. Oh, great. Yeah. Shall we call it a day then for a shortly, tightly scripted episode?
We should. I just
Yes.
realised his acrylic paint is called Amsterdam.
On
On Henry Light's, on his boardwalk down at the docks.
did I miss that? Oh
Amsterdam,
yes, it is.
all acrylics.
Indeed. Well, with that said, oh, the Bad Batch. Yes, I totally forgot. Friday will be Bad Batch a day again for me and Ralph to watch, and Sunday we will have a talk about it, and then we'll go and put it out on the interwebs again, Imperial Interlude, on the podcast service of your choosing. So basically, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. And now, shove off. Get off my lawn. I want to go to bed. Bye.